Mall, and also at the outlets on 42. And I have to tell you, at Cherry Hill, there was not a open parking space 3 o'clock in the afternoon. If I tell you not one, I drove around for a half hour and left. Stanley, the economy is good. I think the Orange Man cometh
Mm.
in January 20th, of course, is an impressive situation where people feel content. They feel happy. They're energetic. People in the mall were smiling. Everybody seemed to be happy. Your thoughts?
Well, this is a happy time of year. Christmas is just fills people with joy, and I think that this kind of optimism that we see here is just compounding the pleasure, compounding the delight, compounding the optimistic spirit of the American people, and I can feel that optimism, and as I know you can as well.
I do. And you know what's interesting? This is the first time in 73 years that I could ever remember Christmas and Hanukkah fall on the same day. I mean, that's incredible to me. I don't know. Normally Hanukkah is, earlier in the season and, it's
Mm-hmm.
that to me is a miracle and a feat all by itself.
Well, it's an omen, you know.
Yep.
It's a sign of good things to come, and
Yeah.
and I'm an optimistic person, and I know you are as well.
Of
And I'm
course.
just delighted to be here on your show to talk about the year we've just had, the amazing roller coaster ride,
Yep.
and of course what we've got coming up, which is going to be something.
Yep. Stanley, let me ask before I
Sure.
give you my thoughts, give me your thoughts on Christmas. I mean, what has Christmas meant to you? Even if we have to go back to our childhood, which I'm going to do in a
Hmm.
second. I mean, today, listen, I'm so sick and tired of politics.
Yeah.
And I hate politics, okay? And to be honest with you, as I've always said, I don't care if you're on the left or the right, as long as you care about America and you care about
Hmm.
Americans, that's all I've cared about. If the Russians weren't coming up the turnpike, then I was a happy guy. And
Hmm.
I never engrossed myself in politics. And my mom used to say, read, read, read. You have to be a voracious reader. Me, wiffle ball, box ball, half ball, stick ball,
Hmm.
that's who I was. And then when COVID hit, things started to change in my life and I think in a lot of people's
Yeah.
lives
Yeah.
where we were more situated inside and we couldn't go outside as much as we wanted to. So what did we do? Some of us started picking up books and learning a little bit more about the existence and what really is happening today. Your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I think that the COVID pandemic certainly opened a lot of people's eyes. You know, parents getting to see what their kids are doing at school when they're doing the remote teaching.
Yep.
But you asked me what Christmas means to me. I always tend to think of, well, as family, of course, being together with family,
Yep.
and trying to put aside our differences and just basically looking and focusing on what we're blessed with, what we can be thankful for. But I have to tell you, Barry, for me personally, growing up as a kid, college football bowl games were just something that just kind of made the whole Christmas thing come to life because it was kind of a celebratory time for me, my dad. I was an only child, of course, and and we'd watch bowl games together. And still today, I watch bowl games with my lovely wife. And it just kind of celebrates the Christmas spirit. You seeing all these people together in college football stadiums, cheering their favorite team on. And I know that things are changing quite a bit now with the regard to the college football landscape. And I'm hoping to ask Lou some questions about that and get his take on things that are changing. But for me personally, I just enjoy watching college football, and I just I sometimes I think I can get out there and do it myself.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
excited about it. But
Yeah.
but yeah, being with my wife, being with my kids,
It's family time,
it's
man.
family time.
Yep.
Yes, yes,
Yep.
indeed.
And I have to tell you, for those that know a little bit about me and my family, my dad, Harry Sable, the king of wedding bands, for so many years on Jewelers Row, he never had an opportunity to spend Hanukkah with us. And frankly, he worked 30 days and 30 nights.
Hmm.
He was a busy guy trying to take care of his family. And what we looked forward to as kids was December 24th. My dad would come home by 6 o'clock. We
Hmm.
would get in the car and he would take us to go ride and see the Christmas lights. And I have to tell you the truth, that was special to me. All those years, it didn't matter how old we were, we all gathered in my dad's
Hmm.
car and we took a ride. And it was such a joyous time. And I have to tell you, I remember my parents taking me to Gimbals and Lit Brothers and Wanamaker's. The city of Philadelphia was hustling and bustling. It was beautiful to see. There's a lot of great memories. And frankly, as a Jewish guy, Christmas, Every restaurant was closed. What did we do as Jews? We went and had Chinese food, Stanley. So there's really terrific memories. And as I get older, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, and um, not to be sobby, but family is so important, Stanley. And friendship is so important. And I listen to songs like Yolanda Adams sings, Get There If You Can. It's an important time of the year.
Hmm.
I don't care what it takes. I don't care what it takes. Listen, you go through life. How many Christmases do you really live? 75, 80. And that's it. And that's it. So Christmas, for people to say, I'm busy working, I don't have
Right.
time. No, you got to get to your family, Stanley.
Yeah, it's yeah, we tend to when we're younger, I tend to think, well, I'll catch it next Christmas or the one after that.
Right.
I'm just going to glide through this, work like your dad did,
Yep.
and we miss it, and before long we have fewer Christmases ahead of us than we had behind us,
That's right.
and that's when our minds get really focused. And I'm a college professor, and so you mentioned the problem with politics and how it can divide people, how it can
And I
separate
think it
people.
has, Stanley.
Yes, it has. So, especially over the last 4 years, and I think that as a college professor, we're supposed to eschew politics and talk about what we know about
Mhm.
and engage our students with the important questions
Right.
of life. And I found this getting increasingly difficult to focus on what's important in the college enterprise in terms of the larger questions of what's important in life, what's moral, what's right, what's
Yep.
humane, what's progress, what is logic, reason. Bring all that stuff together, and we find politics beginning to encroach on a lot of aspects of our life that it didn't do so before. And a lot of people have been separated because of that. Family,
Yep.
unfortunately.
Well, and you know something too, as far as I'm concerned, with technology, the innovation of phones to a certain degree, is so much more innovated than ever. People spend more time on their phones, on computers, X Factor games, and stuff like
Hmm.
that, and they don't spend as much time with their families. You know, the other day I was out at Dunkin' Donuts, and I was sitting there, and I was watching a small family, and there was a woman that I guess she was. When I say woman, to me, listen, I'm an old man, but 21-year-old lady, or
Hmm.
called female, and looked like with either her two kids or there were brothers and sisters. And for the whole half hour they were together, there was
Hmm.
no conversation. It was just strictly people were looking on their phones. So to me, things have changed. That's why holidays are special. Put your phone down. Stay off the computer. Stay off the telephone. It's a family time. And, listen, as I say, I don't want to be sobby, but it's the truth. We need to go back to the family unit. And to me, that's important, Stanley.
Yeah, I had the similar experience where I was noticed a bunch of young men were playing on their skateboards. They had to be in their early teens, and they weren't talking with each other. They were all on their phones, stopping, pausing with their skateboarding, but not talking to each other. It was very strange
Yep.
to me. Maybe this is the new way. I'm not sure, but I tend to think it's doubly constricting in the sense that kids will basically interact with folks on their phones and not individually, person to person, face to face. But for people like myself, and I'm guilty of this, the phone allows me to do my work, 24/7.
I know.
Yeah, and I'm always talking to you.
Hard to get a hold of you at
Yeah.
times, though, as
Well,
we
yes,
know.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
And I get texts, I get emails.
I know.
I've got all my emails going
Busy
to
guy.
one account, and they're just they're relentless,
Yep.
and you feel like you have to answer people.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
listen, you're an author. You're writing your fourth book. You're a busy guy. Jim, I guess it looks like it's time. I guess we are up against a break. You have been listening to the Dawn Stensland Show. Barry Sable sitting in with Stan Ridgely. When we come back, hopefully we have an interview that I did with Lauren Hart that I think you're going to find interesting and fascinating.
From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Phil Almquist giving the Kale and Company flag to Jeremy. He's the recipient for the week.
You promise you'll fly it on your truck and you'll return it next week.
100%.
Okay. All right.
You have other people in the hopper stocker, so to speak, or how can people
I do, yeah.
request the flag?
Probably won't be till January until you can do it, but we have other people. If you want to fly the flag high on your truck or house or whatever, you have to display it. It can't sit in the back of your truck like it did for Kale. Send me an email, greg.stocker@odyssey.com.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Get game day and holiday ready with Jack Daniels at your local PA Fine Wine and Good Spirits store. Pick up the original Jack Daniels Tennessee Whiskey, Jack Fire, or Jack Honey 1.75 milliliter bottles, all for $3 off. Or a 4-pack of Jack and Coke or Jack and Coke Zero Sugar, now ready to drink in a can. Jack Daniels, born for the tailgate. Please drink responsibly. Whiskey Specialty, 7% ABV. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniels and Old Number 7 are registered trademarks of Jack Daniels Properties, Inc. Coca-Cola is a trademark of the Coca-Cola Company.
Virtua Health, real patients, real doctors, real complex cases. Take one.
Open heart surgery, tear in my aorta.
The most complex cases come to us at Virtua Health.
I'm sure I wouldn't have been here without you.
Being a 45-year-old, not being able to walk up one flight of stairs, I had no idea I was in heart failure.
Virtua is a premier heart failure center in South Jersey.
They changed my life. It's truly a blessing.
Want to follow our stories? Go to virtua.org. Virtua Health, here for good.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
A long-standing sweet Christmas Eve tradition continues in South Philly, and 2 men are charged in the shooting death of a man on I-95 in October of last year. And SEPTA welcomes 16 new officers as they move closer to becoming fully staffed.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
It's officially the merry season, and B101, Philly's official Christmas station, is your home for holiday music. Spinning the biggest and best festive tracks all day long, now through Christmas Day. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Get your holiday fix on the radio at 101.1 FM. Ask your smart speaker to play B101 Philly, or listen on the go with the free Odyssey app.
Hey, it's Greg with Kale and Company. The NFL playoffs are almost here, and it's not too late to get in on the regular season action with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. It's America's #1 sportsbook right now. New customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. You heard that correct. $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. FanDuel has so many ways for you to pick up a W. Not only can you bet on who will win the game, but FanDuel also has bets for which player will score a touchdown, how many points each team will score, and so much more. All you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/Greg. FanDuel.com/Greg to join today. This way, you'll be all set for the biggest game of the year. FanDuel.com/Greg for your chance at $250 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner of 1210 WPHT. 21 and over. Present PA. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
From your kitchen table to our airwaves, the Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
We are back. You are listening to the Dawn Stensland Show. Barry Sable sitting in for Dawn today. Hope she's having a wonderful day. My guest, Stanley Ridgely. We were talking on the break, and before we get to certain issues, and I don't really want to talk much about politics, but I find you to be an interesting guy. You've written 3 books. You're on your 4th. Can you just give me a little insightfulness? What is it like to write a book? How much pressure is it? How much tension is it? And what does it take to actually write a book?
Well, that's an interesting, fully packed question, Barry. I have to tell you, it's a lonely process.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think, oh, the writing life. Oh, and they picture, you're wearing a beret, you're sitting out, on the Champs-Élysées in Paris, smoking a cigarette, drinking some wine, and talking with your writer friends like Ernest Hemingway or F. Scott Fitzgerald. And that's just not it, And I think that everyone at some point in their life says, I read a novel, I read a nonfiction book. I can do that.
Of course.
I can do that. And there's a completely kind of a faux way of looking at how do you write a book. People think,
how much time does it take to write a book that's like 200 pages long?
Oh, well, that's about 75,000 words, what you just described. It depends on whether it's a novel or whether it's nonfiction. I do nonfiction. And I can tell you it takes about if it's a really heavily researched book, at least a year.
It does take
at
that
least
long.
a year. But you got to write every day. And that's the key to it. You write every single day at the same time.
Listen, I know I don't want to embarrass you. You're a rather smart guy. Do you use a thesaurus? I mean, I want to know, because I know when I do my monologues, I use a thesaurus. I say, hey, let me sound a little smarter than I really am, and I place a word here and I place a word here. Do you use a thesaurus, or is it all just contemporaneously done by you?
Well, I think we should all be working to improve our vocabularies, expanding it. And I don't use a thesaurus in the sense that the English language is very rich and it's large. And there's always a word that we can find that says exactly what we want it to say. And I think a lot of us are very lazy writers on the first draft. And that's something I want to emphasize. You have to write a second and third draft. On the first draft, we use a lot of words that are the same words, simple words. We talk around the subject. When we get to the second draft, we begin to pare it down. We begin to replace clumps of words, wordweeds, with a single word that means exactly what we want to say.
Growing up, were you a voracious reader? How do you like that as a word? Did you read all the time? Were you one of those geeky guys that spent time in the library?
Yes.
You know what I mean? No wall ball, wiffle ball, box ball for you. What type of guy were you in order to put you in the position to be a terrific writer today?
Well, you have to read a lot. I mean, you have to read the kinds of books that you want to write. That kind of makes sense. It's kind of intuitive. You want to write novels, you want to write men's action adventure novels, you want to write romance novels, then that's what you read.
Right.
And you want to write nonfiction business books like I have tried to do in the past, and that's what you want to read. You have to have something important to say, and you have to have the courage and the wherewithal to say it.
Yep. Yep. I have to tell you something. I'm trying to stay away from politics today, so I'm pulling everything out of the air. Why don't I ask you, what is it like for you to walk in and teach a classroom of students? I mean, there's a lot of preparation, I'm sure. Tell me what that feeling is like for you. You're a professor, and as I say, you're my professor, like Hannity has Dershowitz. You're my brain power. Give me some insightfulness, and our listeners, what that's actually like for you on a college campus today.
Oh, well, it depends on the class to a certain extent. I feel the same way, regardless of what class I'm teaching. It's energizing. I'm dealing with a lot of very smart young people who have been selected into the college, and they presumably are there to hear what I have to say. And so that's a great honor, and it's also a great duty that you have to not waste their time. Excuse me. These folks are paying a lot of money. Their parents are paying a lot of money to get what we presumably is wisdom that I can give them. And so I don't want to shortchange them. And so I'm thoroughly prepared for all of my classes. They energize me with their questions, with their just simply their youth, their energy. And I find that it's rejuvenating for myself. It's something that is the same for all teachers, I'm sure. I always look forward to it. That when I get to the day when I'm not looking forward to it, that might be the day that I want to retire.
Are you a scary professor?
Yes.
Do people know when they come into your class that they're going to work?
Well, that's I tell them, you've heard that you want to be in my class because you think it's an easy A. I said, no. It's easy to get an A, but it's not an easy A. Now, to do the things that I want you to do, to imbibe the knowledge, to imbibe the skills, to develop the wherewithal and the perception, the intuition, to do well in this class it's not easy.
No.
But you can do it. It's
Well,
just yeah.
you're at a good school. In colleges today, do they still do testing? I mean, is that for great? Yeah. So what is it like for you to?
Yep.
All right, there you go. So we've been talking for a minute because, as you know, I have an interview that I pre-recorded with Lauren Hart.
Yeah,
She's
looking
on
forward to it.
vacation. Yeah, we're going to come up with that in a second after the break. But I want to ask you, what is it like teaching kids today for you? I mean, when you get out of bed, are you looking forward to like I look forward to coming into the studio. I always look forward to going into Sable Diamonds for various reasons of who I was going to see, who I was going to meet. So many people, as everybody knows, and we could talk about that a little later. But do you really look forward to getting in there every single day and teaching kids? Does it energize your batteries?
Oh yes, Drexel is a fine school with a low acceptance rate, which means it's very selective. So the kids who come in there are very sharp, and I have to be sharp. I have to be ready for their questions. I have to be ready to engage them, and they are. I've had the privilege I taught at Temple for 5 years, and then I've taught at Drexel now for almost 15. So I've been able to watch the generations come through, the various cohorts that come through. And I've watched them change slowly, but there's a core, there's a kind of a core ethos of the young Drexel students especially. They're committed, they are hardworking, they love the pressure of our quarter system, which really compresses the knowledge transmission process into a smaller time frame from, as I say, from 15 weeks down into 10 weeks.
Yep.
And these folks a lot of times we have a co-op system, and they work full time, and so they really energize me. I'm inspired by them, to tell you the truth.
You know, to come on to this radio show from time to time on Sundays, I listen to Charlie Kirk, I listen to Candace Owens, and I I have to tell you, I kind of marvel and laugh at the interviews that they have with these kids today. Frankly, I never was. And when we went to Temple, and I went there, and when we went to school, we were never as well thought like these students are today. There's a lot of wackiness that's going on today, and frankly, it's almost like a lot of college students have a chip on their shoulder. Do you see that in college campuses today, or not so much?
Well, I look at my campus, and I look at campuses writ large because I do a lot of research with regard to the campus environment. I don't see that as much in the business school because these are serious young people who are looking for ways to learn.
Are you undergrad or grad?
I teach. I've taught graduate school in the past, but I love teaching undergraduates more. They seem hungrier. They want to learn more, as opposed to maybe someone coming through getting an MBA, getting a graduate degree. That's a different type of student, differently motivated. The undergraduates are incredible. I don't see the kinds of wackiness that you mentioned. I'm familiar with this, the kinds of interviews.
Well, more liberal schools, I guess. I mean, schools from California and other places of that nature. I guess you'll see that.
Well, we have pockets of that sort of thing. And
in
you'll
this
find
area.
pockets of there, English and sociology and various humanities, some history, where there's a lot of professors, none that I can mention right now by name, but who look at their classroom as a kind of a bully pulpit for their own politics.
Wow.
And I do the best to keep my politics out of the classroom. That's not what kids are being paid to do.
Stanley, it looks like we're up against the break. You are listening to the Dawn Stensland Show. Barry Sable sitting in for Dawn. Don't leave us. Thanks for being there.
It snowed, it snowed, it snowed last night.
Do you have a property that you no longer want? Maybe you inherited the property. Maybe you're underwater in the property. Or maybe you're just a tired landlord, tired of dealing with tenants. Listen, I can buy those properties, and I'll buy those properties fast. I can close in 2 weeks. I buy properties cash. My name is Larry Steinhaus. Give me a call at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I will personally answer the call. You can also visit easyoutrealestate.com. Hey, this is Larry Steinhaus from Investor Schooling. Did you know I have a radio show every Saturday from 1 to 3? It's called The Larry Steinhaus Show, and it's sponsored by Investor Schooling. On this show, you will learn things about finances and things about money that you never knew before. But even more of a reason to listen to this show is how much fun we have. If you haven't heard the banter between me, Omri, and Dr. Deb, you haven't heard the greatest show on earth. Listen to this show this Saturday at 1 o'clock right here on WPHT, and I promise you will learn something.
Hi, this is Joe Meterchick, PNC Bank Regional President. As a bank, we pride ourselves on being boring. But the truth is we couldn't be more excited to serve the dynamic greater Philadelphia community. For nearly 160 years, we've quietly toiled away to deliver brilliant results for our equally brilliant clients. We have dedicated PNC teams throughout the local area, all ready to do the boring work to help you unlock your own brilliance. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Isn't it time to invest in yourself? Well, how about this? Start a PI Dental Center with decades of experience in complex dental treatment, and I've been a patient of PI Dental for 20 years. Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, they're board-certified prosthodontists. They specialize in the restoration and replacement of teeth, and PI Dental Center are the originators of the teeth in a day. It's a revolutionary treatment that delivers fixed teeth and implants placed for a dramatic transformation in a mere one day. So visit PIDentalCenter.com. That's PIDentalCenter.com to request your new patient evaluation.
Simplify your banking when you open a First Harvest Credit Union growth checking account that gives you easy access to your money for everyday spending while earning as high as 2.0% annual percentage yield. Visit firstharvestcu.com or your nearest branch to get details and open a growth checking account. And watch your money grow. First Harvest Credit Union, serving the Delaware Valley for over 84 years. Membership restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED. And it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Hey, Mount Laurel. We know your favorite station is WPHT. Tell your smart speaker to play 1210 WPHT.
Yes, indeed, we are back. I cannot believe it's Christmas time. That's not Christmas music. What kind of music was that? Stanley, I had an opportunity to interview Lauren Hart, and we have that interview. I think you're going to find it fascinating. I think our listenership, meaning Dawn's obviously, is going to find it fascinating too. Jim, can we play the interview that I had this week with Lauren Hart, please? We are back. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. Barry Sable and friends sitting in for Dawn today. As we know, the Jean Hart family has been a staple for so many memorable years of our community. Lauren Hart is an American singer based in Philly. She is best known for singing the American and Canadian national anthems prior to the Philadelphia Flyers game. She is the daughter of Jean Hart, will always be in spirit of him. We listen to her regularly, as I say. Jean Hart, as we know, was the familiar voice of the Philadelphia Flyers for so many years. And her mom, Sarah, my God, who had all the gumption in the world, used to come down the chute at Steel Pier into the water, a diving horse lady. Lauren Hart, thank you for joining me on this Christmas Eve.
Oh, Barry, I'm so glad to hear your voice. It's been a while since you and I have spoken, so it's nice to get together, and especially nice to be filling in for my dear friend, Dawn.
Yes.
So all good vibes all the way around.
Yes. So, Lauren, tell us what you're doing before, obviously, I want to get to your mom and your dad. Tell us what you're doing I know that you sing quite a bit. Obviously, you're at the Flyers. So why don't you give our listenership a rundown of what you presently are and currently doing before I know you're going on vacation this week? Go ahead, my friend.
Well, as you know, I'm still at all the Flyers home games, doing that national anthem. So I guess people know me best around here for that. But also, I've been recording for many years. I have 8 albums out. The last thing that I put out was a holiday Christmas little EP, which I've been wanting to do for a long time. I still do concerts, and you can see me in the area. I just did one at the Kimmel Center recently. And I'm always out playing. I'm always out working on new projects. I'm writing and working on a new album now. And I'm also working on a new documentary about Death Valley, of all things.
Wow.
But in addition to me performing and singing anthems and trying to write my own songs, I write for TV and film. And that's kind of a secret hobby of mine. I love documentaries and I love music scoring. So, yeah, I'm doing music all the time. So a lot of people ask me when they see me at games, they say, oh, do you ever do anything else?
I'm sure.
And but I do have a whole other musical life that I've occupied for quite some time now, and I still love it. But singing the anthem and being part of the Flyers is so near and dear to me. I absolutely adore that team. I adore the fans. Philly fans are just the best ever, period. Love Philly fans. And I'm really honored that I have that spot. And I'm honored with the loyalty of the fans because, as you know, Philly fans tell you like it is, right? So if they don't like you, you know it. And if they love you, they let you know that too. And I'm really just so grateful and, again, honored to be able to be part of the team and to do what I've done for all these years.
Absolutely. Before I get to Mom and Dad, you know that I was fortunate enough to do business with so many Flyers, from Rick Tocchet to Hextall to Pelly Eklund, Shel Samuelson, and the list went on and on and on. Do you get a chance to see the older guys, from Clarkie to all these guys? Do they frequent the stadium, and do you get a chance to interact with them?
I absolutely do. Listen, the Flyers Alumni Association is stronger than ever, and led by Brad Marsh, who is a great player as a Flyer and now is just an absolutely terrific leader of the alumni. And they're out in force many times throughout the year, and I see the guys regularly at games and charity events, and they're all very present in the community, and they're all still really present in my life, and they're just like an extra gift because I was a little kid around a lot of these guys.
I was going to say, yep, you absolutely
right? And
were.
And now we're friends. So we just did an appearance the other day, and I was with Brian Propp.
Yep.
And I'm looking at him, and I think he's just a fantastic human. He was obviously an amazing hockey player, but off the ice and in the rest of his life, he's just done really great things as well. And I was watching him, and I was thinking, God, I remember just sitting here watching him as a young person on the ice at the Spectrum, and just being so in awe and enamored by these athletes. And then, I grew up, and I ended up in, of all places, part of this team. And so a lot of these guys now, they're definitely family, they're friends. And, I love every chance I get to see all of them. And like I said, they're all really active. They love Philly. Even if they don't make this their home anymore, they all come back. So
Well, I think
the guys are all present.
Yep. I think Ed Snyder was a remarkable guy when it came to the Flyers. It was family, family, family. And it was really terrific. I want to switch you to your dad, your pop. As you know, Philadelphia revered him and his voice for so many years that we were he was so precious to Philadelphia. Why don't you take us back to those days and give us a little insightfulness of the memories that you had as a daughter for the revered Gene Hart?
Yeah, there are so many. And let me start off by saying that just last night at a game, someone came up to me and said, I loved your father and he taught me the game. And sometimes I see some of these people and I think, oh my gosh, are you too young to even remember, all those years ago or to know his work? But he is still so loved. I also run into a lot of people. He was also a history teacher on the side early in his career, in addition to announcing. So I run into people that were his past students, and my mom was also a teacher, so all their students come up to me, and he was so loved. And, I think he was just superior at what he did as a broadcaster, as a storyteller, as a communicator. But he genuinely loved people, and he just had a big heart, and he was a huge fan of our team. And I think, the fans felt that, which is why they're connected to him in so many ways, but especially, the people that learned hockey through him. And those are, memories are forever, especially, when you're in love with a team and you follow a team, when that team goes all the way. I mean, as any fan will tell you, that's forever a part of you, even if you've never played the game or a game at all, But growing up, I just was, my dad was my hero, of course, but he was kind of just my dad. And I really didn't know the scope, or I didn't see what everybody else thought of him. I did know when we went to the Spectrum and he would come and people would be like, wow, Gene Hart, and sort of the sea of people would part to let him pass and all this stuff. But still, as a kid, he's just my dad. And I didn't know it. I went to college at Temple, and my car wasn't working. So I called my dad and I asked him to come pick me up. And there's a main street that goes right through the university, and I'm out on the corner waiting for my dad, and I see his white car coming up the road, and he had a license plate that said Voice.
Oh, wow.
And all of a sudden, I'm looking on the side of the streets because it's like lunchtime, or there's tons of students out there, and everyone's pointing. And they're like, Gene Hart, that's Gene Hart, Gene Hart. It just like the place went nuts. And here I was, sort of out of my neighborhood and out of my the world that I grew up in the city, and still here's all these people that just knew who he was and were so excited to see him. And that was kind of the moment that I saw him in a bigger picture as more than just my dad, right? I saw him as somebody who was much beloved in the community. And, we're very blessed in this city with broadcasters for all of our teams. And, he was one of the greats.
Of course. And I have to tell you something. We will all, win, lose, or draw, remember, score! Only Gene Hart could say it the way he said it, And I have to tell you, I want you to know how important your dad was to me. Your mom and he would come into the store, and he was such a gracious guy, and he did commercials for me. I mean, I couldn't begin to tell you how much I appreciated that. He would never charge me a single dime. He said, Barry, let me tell you something. I enjoy coming in here. You always take care of me. Little or big, you're always there for me. You roll out a carpet. I imagine Gene Hart walking in, and I have to tell you, I am so thankful he gave me a book and he signed it, and I've read it. And I have to tell you, he's a marvel. Hall of Fame voice, obviously.
Yeah.
So we know that. Let's switch gears for 2 seconds before I leave you go. Let's talk about Mom. As we all know, Steel Pier, your mom was on the back of the horse, diving down into the water tank. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Right. Well, that's kind of different. So, I always saw my dad in the public spotlight, but I didn't see my mom. This was something she did before she had kids. But she actually met my father at the Steel Pier in Atlantic City. Wow. He was one of the original, they called them the Binswanger Bathing Beauties.
Oh, my God.
And it was a high dive act.
Yep.
It was a high dive act. Yep. And they did like this comedy diving where they'd jump in the water and be telling jokes at the same time. And then eventually he became like the MC of the water circus they had out there. My dad's father ran the pier, Charlie Hart, also a show business guy. But here comes my mom from Apopka, Florida. a horse rider and daredevil and adventurer, and here was the diving horse, and Mom got in there and said, "Oh, I could do that."
Yep.
And got up there and would dive 40 feet off a platform into a tank of water, and that was entertainment back in the day.
Such memorable
crazy stuff.
Yeah, it is crazy stuff. Listen, before I let you go, number one, I want you to give your mom a hug for me. I remember the dinners.
Will do.
Please, I remember the dinners I had with Mom and Dad. And to me, I just wanted to listen to their stories. It was fascinating to me. I am so thankful that you spent the time with me, especially on Dawn's show, who is your buddy. I know you're going on vacation. I want you to have a Merry Christmas, a healthy and happy New Year. But before I leave you go, where and when will we see Lauren Hart again? In case we want to see her other than the Flyers, where will we see her?
Well, we're recording through the winter, so in spring you'll see us at all the festivals and outdoor concerts, and you can check out my website, laurenhart.com, and we post everything there. So I'm always around. Doing my thing.
Lauren Hart, you are special. You are a chip off of the old block, no different than your mom and dad. I want you to have a Merry Christmas, a healthy and happy New Year. You are always welcome on the Barry Sable Show on Sunday mornings to call in and give us an update on your success. Thank you so much for calling in today, and have a great holiday.
My best to you as well, Barry.
Thanks,
Happy
my
New
friend.
Year.
You too. Take care. Jim, what an interview. I know you have some thoughts. You were a big fan of the Flyers and Gene Hart. Why don't you give it to me? My engineer, Jim Kelly, on the other side of the glass. Go ahead, Jim.
Well, growing up the way I did back in the 70s, the Flyers were all the rage. Everybody in my family, they were all big hockey fans. And my grandparents were the only people to have Prism at the time. So when there was a Flyers game on, you knew where everybody in the family was. So just imagine a tiny row house in South Philly crammed with hockey fans.
Yep.
And just watching Gene Hart just do his thing on rebound on defense, score! I mean, Gene Hart was to the Flyers what Merrill Reese is to the Eagles.
Yes.
I mean, that local feel and that local announcer, as he's in there going, rebound on the side, right on the side, score! it's like Eagles fans now watching Merrill Reese go, he's at the 20, he's at the 40, and he's at the 50, and it's scored, a touchdown. Philadelphia Eagles come back, and it's brought to you by PNC Bank.
Jim Kelly, it looks like we're up against the break. You have been listening to the Dawn Stensland Show. Barry Sable sitting in for Dawn. Hopefully we'll get Jack Chitterelli on the line, and he'll spend a few moments with us on this Christmas holiday.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. Get the vehicle that's on your wish list with year-end savings from the Piazza Auto Group. For a limited time, get an incredible 0% APR for up to 72 months available on the all-new Honda Prologue from Piazza Honda in Langhorne, Philadelphia, Pottstown, Reading, and Springfield, or the new 2024 ZDX from Piazza Acura of Ardmore, Reading, or Westchester, also with 0% financing. Contact your local Piazza Honda or Piazza Acura dealer, or you can shop online, Piazza Honda and PiazzaAcura.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Is your home cold and drafty, or windows and doors just won't open like they used to anymore? Brighten your home with new doors and windows from Emmons Roofing and Siding.
We offer a wide selection to fit your style and budget, ensuring energy efficiency and aesthetic appeal.
And new doors and windows enhance your home's value and comfort.
Call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
Listen New Year's Eve as Penn State battles Boise State. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. on the home of Penn State football. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause. Brought to you by the Labor and Energy Alliance this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that will affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
We know you're uncertain about psychics. Is this fortune teller you found on a forum legit?
Your one true love is...
Me! That's why California Psychics reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Don't let cold season make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution for nasal congestion, Navage. Navage uses gentle suction to flush out your sinuses with refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all winter long. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at select warehouse clubs in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better fast. Check out Navage at your local retailer today. Navage, Navage, breathe easy.
Free speech lives here with Don Stensland, 10 till noon on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
What kind of song is this for Christmas? Oh, my God.
It's Merry Christmas, baby.
Oh, my God. When's it going to start? Listen, we are back. You are listening to the Dawn Stensland Show. Barry Sable sitting in for Dawn. It's Jack time. Jack Chitterelli running on the Republican ticket to become the next governor of New Jersey in 2025. Merry Christmas, my dear friend. Jack, how are you?
I'm doing great, Barry. I'm on the air with you. How can I not be? But Merry Christmas to you and Happy Hanukkah. It all starts tomorrow.
Yep, thanks. What are you doing for the holidays, Jack?
Yeah, tonight we'll be at my godmother's for the 7 Fishes, big tradition in the Chitterelli and D'Ottavio families. And tomorrow we have a big Christmas brunch with the family. So it's a special time of the year. It's a time that we give thanks and show appreciation for all that we have. Right?
Yes. Listen, I want you to know I'm sitting in studio with Professor Stanley Ridgely. I never get it right, so I just call him Stanley. And frankly, he's chomping at the bit. I said, no politics today. He said, Barry, you know me. He has a question. Jack, say hello to Stanley.
Hey, good morning, Stanley. Fire away. Always happy to
Hey,
answer
Jack.
any questions.
Jack, an honor to be talking with you this morning on Christmas Eve. And it's a pleasure to be talking to the next governor of New Jersey. On that point, I want to ask you, New Jersey has drones all over the place. They're real. We've seen them on video. Barry himself has cited one. I want to ask your take on this, your guess at their purpose. What are they all about?
We're 5 weeks in, Stan, and we still can't figure it out. And how disappointing amongst our leadership. Phil Murphy and Joe Biden have treated this issue the same way they treated the border issue. Nonchalant, laissez-faire, not showing the same concern as citizens. As governor, I would release emergency funds, equip our state police with the same type of drones. Let's get up in the air, go toe-to-toe with these guys, and find out their point of origin.
Yeah.
How can we be 5 weeks in on this and still not know the point of origin? Now, I don't think the people operating these drones have any really, really bad intentions, or it would have happened already. But if someone did have bad intentions, what we're learning from this experience is we're ill-prepared.
Yeah, I have to tell you something, Jack. With all the conspiracy theories, it's a little frightening to me. As I had mentioned earlier in the show, I pulled into my community the other day. It was about 10:30 at night. I looked up. My God, it looked like I could hit a 5-iron and hit this thing. It was huge, and it looked like it looked at me, and I looked at it, and it looked at me, and 3 minutes later it took off. I don't think it's funny. And as you know, I visited the border, and there were so many people coming into this country from countries that are our foes, people that we don't know about. In all fairness to Chinese people, the Chinese National Party looks like they're sending their whole contingency. We must have 40, 50, 60,000 of them here that we don't know anything about them. I'm concerned about safety. I know it's a holiday, but I don't care. I saw what happened in Germany the other day. Barry Sable's concerned. Your thoughts, Jack?
We should all be concerned. It's very unnerving, Barry, when these things are showing up in your backyard. You can't help but feel threatened. But let's think about the other places where these things have been spotted. Over our water supply, over natural gas pipelines, over the electrical grid, over our 911 communication centers. Come on, let's get this thing figured out.
Military bases, Jack, too.
The same concerns to citizens.
Yep, I agree. Listen, before I leave you go, it's a holiday. I don't want to hold you up. I know you have shopping to do last minute. Tell me, what are you doing for New Year's? Any special plans?
Well, we always go out to dinner with the family, the 4 kids and their significant others, and then to celebrate together in a kind of quiet, family, intimate way. So I've never been the big party New Year's Eve guy, but I do look forward to this entire holiday week and spending it with the kids.
Listen, Jack, I want to thank you for calling in. I don't want to hold you up. I'm up against the break. Merry Christmas, healthy and happy New Year. Thanks for always being there for Barry Sable. Jim, it looks like we're up against the break. You have been listening to the Dawn Stensland Show. Barry Sable sitting in with For Dawn.
Hi, everyone. This is Dom Giordano here with my friend and dentist, Dr. Robert Bentz of the Bentz Dental Group. Dr. Bentz, we've talked about your cutting-edge, state-of-the-art care. Why is that so vital?
It sure helps me diagnose and elevate the level of care I can offer if I'm using the latest technology. I use it on a normal, everyday basis, and I can see things that it's just missed. It's not misdiagnosed, but you can't see something that your equipment won't allow you to. So I feel that if I can't utilize what's out there, and it takes a lot to be trained on it, feel comfortable, that can work for everyone. Not just these advanced cases, but it gives you a very consistent, efficient, and predictable result.
Dr. Bentz and the team at Bentz Dental Group provide solutions for the most complex dental cases. Call Dr. Bentz today at 610-272-6949 or visit BentzDentalGroup.com. Bentz Dental Group, say it with a smile.
I'm Jalen Hurst here for Window Nation. If you're a fan of saving money, listen up.
Right now, save 50% on all window styles, plus a bonus 10% off and 0 interest for 6 years. Hurry, sale ends December 31st. Call Window Nation today to schedule your fast, free, in-home estimate or visit windownation.com.
Don't pay more than you have to for new windows. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business, with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
This is Len Lundy of Lundy Law. Every year, millions are hurt in car accidents. The numbers are overwhelming. But if you're injured in an accident, don't feel overwhelmed. Call Lundy Law. We remove the stress and get you the maximum compensation you deserve. We hope we never meet because of an accident. But if we do, we're here for you. Remember our name, Lundy Law. Your injury lawyers. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit LundyLaw.com.
Hey, it's Joe DeCamera. This year, United Tire and Service is putting an extra $100 in savings under your tree so you can give yourself the gift of 4 new tires. Just use promo code TREE and you can feel the joy of bringing your car into United Tire and leaving with 4 new tires and $100 in savings. That's promo code TREE to stuff your stocking with savings. Celebrate the holiday by stopping by your locally owned United Tire and Service or go to UnitedTire.com. That's UnitedTire.com. Don't drive alone. Drive United.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Don Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Yes, indeedy, we are back. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah. Sitting in studio with me, my professor, Stanley Ridgely. Stanley, what the heck? Are you having a good time today?
Yeah, Barry, I am. But you know what? Something's really bothering me.
Tell me.
I have to tell you.
Tell me.
Yeah, I'm not from Philadelphia. I've lived here for about 32 years, but I don't feel like a denizen, a real native of Philadelphia, and I don't think that'll ever happen. I think you have to be born here. I don't sound like a Philadelphian. I sound like I'm from North Carolina. And I want to know, I want you to give it to me straight. I've heard a lot of Barry Sable stories, okay?
Oh, boy.
And, I've heard about something, Barry Sable diamonds, that it was the store of the stars.
Oh,
Is
boy.
that true?
You're putting me on the spot. You know I don't brag. Yeah, I was a fortunate guy. I mean, along with the public, which I adore, my guys were Will Smith and Charles Barkley and Eric Lindros and Darren Dalton, all the good-looking guys in the city. Obviously, Howard Eskin just lost his job the other day from WIP. He and I went to high school together. He was mine. Lou Tilley was mine. Yuki Washington, a host of so many ball players. So it really was special for me. And I miss those times, Stanley, to be honest with you. At this time of the year, I was pooped come this time. In other words, in another 4 or 5 hours, my store would close. 30 days, 30 nights. But I had so much fun. There was so much love in the air. I miss the jewelry business. But there comes a time when you move on. But I do have somebody on the line that can acknowledge and verify.
She's going to vouch for you, huh?
She's going to vouch for me. Jessie Kyle is a Philadelphia-based jazz soul singer and songwriter. Jessie sings the national anthem for the Philadelphia Eagles and Sixers. She has performed at numerous venues, including Wells Fargo Center, Lincoln Financial Field, Citizens Bank Park, Madison Square Garden. Where has she not been? She has worked with many artists, including my friend Will Smith, Sheryl Crow, Maroon 5, and Jerry Steinfeld. Jessica Kyle, my dear friend, good morning. Merry
Hello.
Christmas.
Good morning. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays. Happy everything.
Yes. How are you feeling? I know that your voice has always been raspy, but I know that you've had some surgery, so I appreciate you taking the time to come on. How the heck are you feeling, my friend?
I am great. I really appreciate the invitation. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, but thank you. Yeah, I'm in good form. I'm healing from a little vocal cord procedure, so I'm a little more raspy than normal, but this is kind of close
Yeah, well,
to my normal speaking voice.
when I spoke to you the other day, you couldn't barely talk. I'm sure your husband was thrilled with that.
Oh, my daughter, our 16-year-old was even happier, believe me.
Jesse, why don't you tell my listeners, and really Dawn's listeners right now, how you and I actually met. It's years ago, and I'm proud to call you my friend.
Very proud to call you my friend. We met when I was working, you had mentioned Will, I was working for his music partner, Jazzy Jeff.
Yes.
I was Jeff's assistant and the general manager of his recording studio. And this funny, wonderful guy would call and come to the studio named Barry Sable.
Yes.
And that was many, many moons ago.
Yes.
So I'm very grateful to be here talking to you today.
Yeah, thank you. Give us an insightfulness of what it's like in front of a crowd for you to sing the national anthem at a packed stadium such as the Eagles or the Sixers. Give us your insightfulness. Do you come out? Are you ever nervous? I mean, do you look and say, my God? I mean, what are your thoughts when you go perform in front of so many people?
It's a lot of fun. I'm always nervous. Yes, I did. I started at the Sixers 30 seasons ago at the Spectrum.
Wow.
30 seasons ago. Actually, now this is the 31st season. At the Vets with the Eagles. So it's been a long time. Always nervous, no matter what. In the last year, it actually gets better. It has gotten better, rather. But I'm always nervous, and I think that was almost in my head, a protocol. Like, well, if I'm not nervous, then something's going to go wrong. But it's exciting. I mean, I grew up in South Jersey, but I lived in Philly for 20-some years. So, I'm a 215 girl. I love our sports teams.
Yes.
So for me, it's an honor to be out there. But just the thrill, I mean, being a sports fan and being able to sing the anthem, I mean, it kind of doesn't get better than that.
Yeah. Listen, I know you've been under the weather a little bit in your life, and I don't like to talk about downers, but to me, you are an inspiration to people like myself. And it's a holiday time, and it's a time of love. I'd really like for you to discuss and tell our listenership some of the history that you have and the wonderful thing that your husband did for you in regards to a kidney.
Yes, thank you. As I said, I am in good form now, great form. But I am a 3-time survivor of Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I had subsequent health issues from a heart attack to congestive heart failure, open heart surgery. That put me on dialysis, and I needed a kidney transplant, and my husband donated his kidney. So absolutely a time of I'm grateful 365, but you're right. There's something about the holiday season that just makes you even more warm and fuzzy. But my beloved, gave me his kidney, and I'm in really good health now. It's quite a miracle. I summed up 35 years in about 10 seconds. I think I did a good job.
And listen, what was that operation like? I know it had to be trying. I mean, do you ever go under and say, God, please, I have a daughter, I have a career, I have the greatest life now, I have a business that I'm involved with my husband. Was there ever a fear or trepidation throughout the history of your health that you ever said, God, I mean, I know you for a long time. I could tell you, and I'm going to embarrass you, you are a woman that used to mow lawns. I mean, you stand 5'8". I'm going to take you back in history. I know who you are, and you did spend some time working at Sable Diamonds. Nobody could push a lawnmower better and quicker than you. You're a big statured lady, and you're a tough chick. And if anybody could beat an illness, I got to tell you something, Jesse. It's Jesse Kyle.
Oh, thank you. It's been quite a journey, but you've known me a long time. I'm a positive person by nature, and definitely the surgery when my husband donated the kidney. Yeah, that was scary, particularly for our daughter, who's now worried because both of her parents are going under the knife at the same time. But I was treated at Penn, and I've been there. My first bout, I was 16, so I was treated at CHOP. And then all of these other health issues over these last 30-some years have been at Penn. And I trust them. And trepidation for sure. I mean, something can go wrong, but I've been extremely fortunate that, hiccups, no doubt, but I've come out on the other side. So it's just a positive thing. I think, what's the alternative?
Yes.
I mean, I started speaking, inspirational speaking, motivational speaking, keynote speaking, and ultimately, you know what, Barry? Everybody has their trials or tribulations. Mine seem greater, but they're not, and I think that's what I like to talk about, that it's positive. You can overcome, you can succeed. It's about the will of not giving up, and I just have been very fortunate that my ticket hasn't come up yet.
Yes. Listen, before I let you go, will we see you again singing the national anthem for the Eagles and the Sixers?
Yes, you will. I will get my new dates for 25 from the Sixers. I already actually performed with my dear friend whom you had on last week, Lauren Hart.
Yes.
We performed the anthem in October and the halftime show. We were both cancer survivors, and so we did that for their crucial catch game. And I'll have some Sixers gigs, but as you had mentioned about some businesses, my primary focus now is my customizable bra line. That has become lots of labor of love. Started 14 years ago. We just launched, so you'll be seeing me with that, the Better Lee Bra Company.
Great. Well, all I could tell you is, I've always had a crush on you. You're the one that got away, that never got started. Your husband is a big, burly guy. I'm a little guy. I never had a chance. But I can't tell you this much. If I can come back, I would love to have a Jesse Kyle. And I'm going to tell you something. If need be, I'd give you my spleen, my kidney, whatever the heck you want. I'd give you an eyeball if need be.
And you know what, Barry? I know you would, and I would do the same. And I thank you. It's always such a pleasure to talk to you, and you fill my heart. So I really appreciate you inviting me on today.
Jesse Kyle, my pleasure. Have a healthy and happy New Year. And Merry Christmas to you and your family, and we shall talk soon.
Absolutely. All my best to you. Love you.
You too. Love you too. Yo, Stanley, you asked me about Sable Diamonds. She was part of Sable Diamonds. She worked for me for a short period of time. She knew the inner workings of my store. She's a terrific lady. If there's ever an inspiration around the holiday time, it's this type of person, Stanley.
For sure. She is inspiration. I was inspired just listening to her story, and I wish her well and good fortune in the new year.
Yep. Listen, Jim, are we up against a break over there? Yes, I guess we are. You have been listening to the Dawn Stensland Show. I promise no politics. So far, I'm doing pretty good. Barry Sable sitting in for Dawn. We will see you on the other side of the break.
This Christmas, put the world on hold and enjoy a Sinatra and Friends Christmas with Sid Mark.
You better watch out. You better not cry.
Starting Christmas Eve at 3, it's Frank, Dean, and Sammy, plus Ella, Barbara, Tony, and more. A Sinatra and Friends Christmas with Sid Mark. Christmas Eve at 3 and all day Christmas Day. Only on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Happy holidays to all. It's the perfect time to talk about Rescue Natural Supplements and their Deck the Hall sale, because right now you can save up to 78% on exceptional natural supplements for every area of your health. From essentials like omega-3s, probiotics, cholesterol support, natural pain relief, and more. And the best part? Over a dozen health-boosting rescue products are marked down under $20. Get started. Stock up today. Call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com. res-q.com. With Rescue, you can reinforce your immune system, boost energy, and reach your health goals. Again, there's no code needed to save up to 78% site-wide. So get a head start on your health. Visit res-q.com. That's res-q.com. Do it today.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
It's Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at Westchester University and Pittman, New Jersey in February.
It was fabulous. It was the most joyful night I have experienced in a long time.
The Frank Sinatra guy, I really liked him.
His imitation of the Bee Gees.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm and the story of Philly sports through music. Westchester University on February 21st and the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey on February 22nd. Tickets to a Conklin show make great holiday gifts. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
JoeConklin.com. When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
A long-standing sweet Christmas Eve tradition continues in South Philly, and 2 men are charged in the shooting death of a man on I-95 in October of last year. And SEPTA welcomes 16 new officers as they move closer to becoming fully staffed.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio, now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Are you looking for a place to call home? Say hello to hassle-free home loans with American Heritage Credit Union. Our team will guide you through every step, from pre-approval with mortgage rates lower than the national average to closing. And with the MyCU Home Connection program through American Heritage, you can unlock exclusive benefits, including a $500 lender credit, cash rewards, and discount when you buy or sell a home. Visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/homeconnection to learn more. Insured by NCUA. Not a member? Join today. NMLS 433838.
Calling on Blackwood to follow Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
There you go. Now you're playing an upbeat song for me. My God, Stanley, it's 11:15. We're halfway through, a little more halfway through with this show. Where is time flying, my friend?
I tell you what, it's when you're having a good time, time flies, and that's the paradox of it. Time drags when we're not having a good time, and we never want time to drag. So I'm having a wonderful time with you, Barry, and I'm looking forward to the remainder of the hour with us.
Yeah, I appreciate you sitting in. I have to tell you, Stanley, Jessie Kyle is such an inspiration.
Yes, she is.
She didn't really talk about it the way it's been for the last 15 or 20 years. She has been really a sick lady in and out of hospitals.
Mhm.
And to be honest with you, every time I spoke to her, she's the most upbeat. Holiday time, if you are sick, look at Jessie Kyle. You can do it too. Yuki Washington is an American co-anchor for the weekend evening newscast on CBS 3 at 5, 6, 11, and 8. That means he never has had dinner during the week with his wife for the last 30 years. I am proud to say Yuki Washington is my friend. How are you? Merry Christmas.
Hey, how's everyone? Happy holidays.
Yes.
Everybody doing what? Yes, indeed. So I had to laugh on that one, man, because it's true.
Exactly. Stanley,
how you doing, man? How's everybody?
Say hello to Yuki, Stanley.
Hey, Yuki, how are you? This is Stan
Stanley.
Ridgely.
Yes, Dan. Nice to talk to you, man. God bless you, man.
Nice
and
talking to
happy
you.
holidays to everyone listening. Yes, indeed. This is fantastic. Good to be with you. How you doing, Bear?
Good, my friend. I really appreciate you calling in. You and I go way, 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 way back. You know that I was so appreciative. Everybody loved at my staff when Yuki Washington came in because there was always a story about an athlete or someone of that nature. As we all know, you transitioned from sports into news anchor. So you and I go back a long, long, long time. So I guess, Stanley, let me lead you out, Stanley. What is your first question for Mr. Washington?
Well, Mr. Washington, I have to tell you something.
Wait, gentlemen, wait a minute. Mr. Washington, hold on.
Yuki,
Hold
my first
on,
question.
We're a respectful show here.
Yeah, my question for you is, I have to tell you, one of my favorite actors, if not my favorite actor, is Denzel Washington, and his
All
claim
right.
to fame. His claim to fame is that you are his cousin. Is that true?
You know what?
We got you, Yuki.
Let me think about this one now.
We've done homework on you, pal.
That's his claim to fame.
All right. It is true. It is true. And we are second cousins once removed. Now, let me break that down for you. First and foremost, though, I don't know if you saw, but he just went into the ministry.
Yes.
Denzel did.
Yep.
He was just an ordained minister, and that runs in his blood because his father was a Baptist preacher in Virginia, and his mother was very heavy into religion. So he comes from that background. I was so happy to see that. Matter of fact, just yesterday, I was trying to get with his people, his agent, and so forth, and talk to him even further about that. But to get back to the original question, yes, we are cousins, but it breaks down like this, gentlemen, and everyone listening, if you don't know, Denzel's father and my grandfather were first cousins. And everybody, the Washingtons were from the Virginia area, just about 60 miles west of Richmond in Buckingham, Virginia. So they were first cousins, which makes Denzel and my late father second cousins. And since I'm my father's son and so forth, Denzel and I are second cousins once removed. But we always say cousins when we get together, whether we're talking about a film or what have you. I'm just doing a general interview. We always say cuz. Matter of fact, I put a piece up on YouTube, if you get a chance to look at it, explaining the whole thing and Denzel talking about it. And I think it's under Yuki and Denzel Cousins or something like that. But, yeah, we go back. I never knew him. I didn't meet him until, I guess, when Philadelphia was filming here. You remember that great movie?
Of course. Which one?
Yes, indeed.
Which one? Let's go through it. Which movie did Denzel play?
This was Philadelphia when he did Philadelphia here.
Oh,
with Tom Hanks.
Yes.
And Sharon Pinkenson, the great Sharon Pinkenson of the Film Authority, introduced us because she knew that we were related, and we've been, talking ever since. And Philadelphia was like in the early 90s when they did that here.
Well, I got to tell you a funny story. I probably know him better than you. In the early 90s when Will got married, as you know, I was very friendly. I went out to his wedding, and I'm sitting there, and here is a young Denzel Washington. And I'm sitting there talking to him. And back in the early 90s, who knew who Denzel Washington was? And
you know what?
You're
right, yeah.
Yep, and it was, let me tell you, he was a treat then. And it's funny because somewhere over this last year, somebody floated a picture of Denzel and I on Facebook. And he was really an incredible guy, smart. I love his movies. He's a special guy. He's a talent. Every one of his movies, The Equalizer, I love
What's your favorite? Give me your favorite Denzel Washington movie. I have mine.
I love The Equalizer 1 and 2. How do you like that?
See, I'll go back a little bit further.
Tell me where.
Stanley, what about you?
Well, I watched one of his movies just the other night, Safe House with Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, it's a real good one.
Okay.
Real good one. I like him as an actor. I'll watch anything with Denzel in it.
Yes. Go ahead,
if you get a chance, and if you haven't seen it already, my favorite is Crimson Tide.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And listen,
I mean, he's done so many great ones. Remember the Titans. You know, the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
But Crimson Tide is my personal favorite. Just something about the energy. I believe it was Gene Hackman.
Yes.
The two of them were together. Yeah, that was a lot of energy, and it was a very good film. All this stuff is good. And he's directing now. He's writing, and I'm not sure how much he will do now because of the ministry aspect of it all. But, he's still doing this thing. He'll be, let me see, what's today? Today's the 24th. So I think on the 30th or the 29th. No, it's the 30th. He'll be 70 years young. Time is flying.
You know what Uncle Barry's going to ask. You know it's coming. When is Yuki Washington going to produce his cousin on the Barry Sable Show with friends on Sunday morning? That's what I want to know. When is that going to happen? Because I want to interview that guy for an hour. Yeah, that's what I figured. It's a bad connection. I knew it, Stanley. Yeah, this is what he does to me. Listen.
We got to get this thing fixed, man.
Yeah, of course. Listen, I want to know. I need a Yuki story, a memorable story. I know you have them up your sleeve. Give me one, please.
A memorable story.
Of course.
Let's see. Well, there's so many, especially from my early days at the station. I can give you maybe a couple quick ones. I remember, and Barry, you will probably remember these guys, the Eagles with Reggie White and.
Are you crazy?
And that crew, Seth Joyner and all those guys, because some of them used to come by the shop too. But back during the strike, I believe it was like '88. I used to, because we were all about the same age at that time. And they were kind of I don't want to say impressed, but they were kind of like the idea that I used to play sports because I played basketball at the University of Richmond, and I was doing sports.
Could you play it all or not? Or you went through the motions, and did you get splinters on the bench? Give it to me.
You know, I had a little of both. Because I tore my knee up my freshman year. I tore my patella tendon, so I was a spot starter. I was the captain of the team. But, yeah, I played a little bit, but then some games I didn't play. But that's all right. I got my degree in journalism, and here I am. I've been a pro for,
Yes,
almost 42, 43 years, a professional broadcaster, that is. But I knew those guys during the strike year. Every night after the 11 o'clock news, I would go out there with them and just talk to them about what's going on. And they would tell me stories about football, and they would light a fire in a trash can. It was like 1, 2 in the morning.
I know.
And they were holding steady on their position when it came to bargaining.
I remember
and I got to know it.
Yep.
Remember that? And,
yep.
And the trucks came around
and the scabs, right?
And the scabs are playing. Yeah, yeah. So I got to know those guys individually very, very well, and that meant a lot to me that they respected me. And I never talked about what stories we talked about that evening or those nights out there, but just being out there with those guys and seeing them fight for their cause, that was a great time for me. That kind of helped me when it came to getting the news out and getting known in my hometown. And it's always great to come back to your hometown and do what I do. And that was that was in the early years, back in '88. I came home in '86, but that was just one of many, many stories. We would need like a couple hours for me to break down a few stories.
Well, listen, Sunday mornings it's from 10 to 11.
Sunday morning. Wait a minute. What'd you say?
It's bad connection. That's what I figured. Listen,
What'd you say?
I knew you'd do that to me. You know, in the early 90s, especially I think 91 or 92, I was taking care of and fortunate to service 26 of like the 40 or 42 Eagles in that year. And I have to tell you, my guys, as you know, Eric Allen, Andre Waters, Wes Hopkins, William Frizzell.
God bless his soul. Eric Allen is still going strong. He may even be in the Hall of Fame soon.
I hope so. And as you know, I had great relationships with them too. 2 seconds. I know you're going to run at me. the body bag game and the bounty game. Were you airing at that time, and what were your thoughts on that?
I was on television during the body bag game with Washington.
Yes, that's true.
And as a sports fan, as a broadcaster, as an Eagles fan, that was that game was just amazing. Guys were dropping like flies.
Yeah, exactly.
People were getting hit hard. The fans were going crazy.
Yep.
It was just out of this world. There'll never be another game like that. I mean, guys were getting carried. So many guys were getting hurt. You know, they didn't have enough stretchers.
Yeah.
Back then, that was a hard hitting game on that hard turf at the vet.
Well,
but the Bounty Bowl game, wasn't that Buddy had that going on down in Dallas against Luis Endejas, the kicker, right?
Yes. Yeah, and
I watched that. I didn't travel for that game, but we've had between Buddy Ryan and these great Eagles teams, all our teams, Sixers, Flyers, Eagles, everybody, Phillies. We've had some great memories in the sports world, and I've always said that sports and music. You know, I do the news, but sports and music always, no matter where you're from, what your background, what your religion, culture, sports and music always brings people together, and it really does. It really does. And I'm honored to say that's how I was raised in this town, with those two being the focal point of my upbringing.
Listen, two last thoughts before I leave you go. Music playing. What's up with this? I hear you're singing nowadays. Is this true?
Come on, man. I sing. I try to sing every chance I get.
Go ahead. Give it a shot. I'm listening.
You don't want anything on the phone, man, because I'll get distorted and won't hit the true resonance. I'm trying to stall.
You've ducked me with guests. You've ducked me with everything bad connection. You've ducked me, period, my friend.
I know. No, when I tell you what you do, I've done a bunch of stuff on YouTube. No, I love to sing because I was with the Philadelphia Boys Choir. We started the original group under the direction of Dr. Robert G. Hamilton.
Yes.
And it's gone strong for 56 years. You've probably seen the guys with the red blazers. They do a heck of a job.
Yes.
And since we started the choir, the Philadelphia Girls Choir started, the Keystone State Boy Choir has started, and music is just in my background. But if you go to YouTube, and during the pandemic, I got a lot of comments about this piece. During the pandemic, I did Bridge Over Troubled Water. So if you search Yuki and Bridge Over Troubled Water, and I related it to what was going on in the height of the pandemic, and I had people calling me from all over the country on that one. But that's just one of the things I like to do. I'd like to sing and speak and uplift people. If you can, lifting people up is what it's all about. Not tearing them down, lifting them up. And I think if you search that, matter of fact, get back to me. Let me know what you thought. Or just search Yuki and Bridge Over Troubled Water.
I'll make you a deal. I'll make you a deal. I'll listen. I'll listen. You know how Jews are. They want to trade and negotiate. I will listen if you give me Denzel. That's a deal. Done deal. Contract is in the mail. Sign it and and forward it back to me. Before I leave you go, you know I don't want to hear any, and Philadelphia as well, where you are revered in this city. Nobody ever wants to hear retirement from you. You're aware of that, right?
You know what? You're so kind. You're so kind, but it's in the back of my mind. I'll just put it that way. It's in the back. There comes a time, man. It's time. Matter of fact, what I'm doing now is I'm trying to uplift and groom some of the younger folks that are coming up, because I know the days behind me are a lot longer than the days in front of me when it comes to our industry. So there's going to come a time, and fairly soon. I have a tentative date in my mind, but until then, I still love what I do, and I'm going to do it as long as I can. But it's in the back of my mind. Let's put it.
I don't want to hear this. And all I could tell you, you could do like me and most older guys, just color your hair and let the gray go away.
Yeah,
and that's it. You know what I mean?
That's right. Believe me, I've got a little cabinet full of Grecian just waiting to be open.
Yuki Washington, I am proud to call you my friend for so many years, 30 years, south of the border. One day we'll talk about that, an interesting topic when we both went to Florida, and I met you at south of the border, and since then you'll always, in my heart, be south of the border. We met at that location. That was the craziest thing. That was wild. I want you to have a Merry Christmas, a healthy and happy New Year. You are indebted always in my heart. I love you.
Brother.
And be honest.
Thank you, brother. Right back.
No, thank you for coming on. You take
Anytime.
good care.
Stanley, be well. Everyone listening, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah.
Yep.
And peace and joy to everyone. And let's continue to uplift each other as much as we can.
Yes, we can. A pros pro, Philadelphia. Yuki Washington, thanks so much.
All right, love you, fam. Talk to you later.
You too. Thanks,
okay.
buddy. Stanley, that guy is in my heart. Jim, are we up against a break again? My God, this is flying. Do we have any more time? Or we're breaking? We're breaking. Okay. You have been listening to the Dawn Stensland Show. Barry Sable sitting in for Dawn with Stanley Ridgely. We'll be back right after the break. We have a half hour left. Don't leave me.
Weather sponsored by Turn 7.
We'll hang around the upper 20s overnight, cloudy conditions. Tomorrow, wintry mix in the morning, high of around 39. Christmas Day, partly cloudy, high 39. Thursday, 38, partly cloudy conditions as well. And on Friday, 44 for the high. Weekend, looks like we might see some rain.
Closing liquidation. Turn 7 liquidations must vacate and liquidate immediately with massive extra 50% off savings. Everything for Christmas. Electronics, furniture, toys, and more toys. Now being sacrificed at an extra 50% off. Hurry, Turn 7, Philadelphia Mills. Turn 7 liquidations.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Window Nation presents the 1210 WPHT Veteran Spotlight in partnership with the Travis Manion Foundation. Listen the first Wednesday of every month as Kale & Company shines a spotlight on a local veteran, highlighting their remarkable commitment to the community and their exceptional service in the military. Presented by Window Nation. At Window Nation, there's nothing more important than giving back to the communities we serve. For all of your window and door needs, visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
This is Len Lundy of Lundy Law. When we say we hope you are never involved in an accident, we mean it. But if you're injured in an accident, we will work quickly to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. And when we also say it won't cost you a dime up front, we mean it. Remember our name, Lundy Law. Your injury lawyers. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit lundylaw.com.
It's no secret, the clock is ticking. Grab your last-minute gifts at News. Quick, affordable gifts for the whole fam for under $10. Toys by Barbie, Disney, Mattel, Hot Wheels, Nerf, Sonic, Fisher-Price, and more, starting at just $3.99. Small electronics you can easily wrap from $4.99. Box gift sets you can throw a bow on, start at just $5.99. Box cozy PJs start at $9.99. Don't wait. Time is running out. Get to Foreman Mills now.
There's a chill in the air and the big red bows are on the cars. Make this holiday season a December to remember with a great deal on your new Lexus from Lexus of Cherry Hill. The 2025 Lexus are arriving daily. Over 300 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Lexus of Cherry Hill, now a 7-time J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence winner for the customer sales experience. Visit LexusofCherryHill.com. Lexus of Cherry Hill, family owned and operated.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Not yet. Do it today. Okay. At 1210 WPHT.
Yes, indeed, we are back. You are listening to The Dawn Show. Barry Sable sitting in for Dawn. I promise no politics today. So far, I've kept to my word. Stanley, Yuki Washington, your thoughts?
Amazing guy. I understand that Denzel has been riding Yuki's coattails for many, many years. Made him a star, and I've been watching the guy for 1,000 years, and I don't think he ought to retire anytime soon.
Yes.
It would be the end of an era, truly, if he were to retire.
Well, listen, we gave him a little bit of insightfulness. Just color up the hair. Lou
yeah.
Tilley has been a familiar face to TV viewers in Philly, Channel 3, Boston, New York, Baltimore, Charlotte, and across the nation. His 30-year on-air career has garnered 11 Emmy Awards for excellence in reporting, programming, and production. Proud, again, to call him my friend. Philly misses that handsome face. Merry Christmas, Lou Tilley.
Hey, Barry.
How are you, my friend?
Following Yuki as usual. Some things never change.
Well, people might not understand what that meant. Who was first, you or him? You?
Me. I hired him. I was the sports director in '86. I followed Howard, what's his name?
Yeah. Eskin?
Some other Northeast High kid.
Yeah, Howard Eskin, yeah. Me, that's where I graduated from. You too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of January 1986, I took over, replacing Howard Eskin.
Yep.
And we hired Yuki as my backup guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we hired Michael Barkan, who replaced Bob Bradley, who had been there for like 40 years, was sort of my mentor.
Yes.
We had a tremendous team. It might have been the best, I have to say, probably the best local sportscasting team ever.
Yeah.
It really was great.
Yep. Lou, tell me, what are you doing with yourself nowadays? I know you've been, I believe, if I'm correct, out of broadcasting for a minute. I know you did so many things since all these cities that you were in. What are you doing currently?
Yeah, after I stopped working for Comcast with the Comcast network, and I loved that job because I got to run the whole sports department and also developed programs and did sales. I started to get the bug for business. So around 2011, I started my own company along with a local businessman named Marty Judge, who, if you remember the old movie Arthur with Dudley Moore.
The best.
Marty Judge has a $900 million recruiting and placement business out in King of Prussia, and Marty's like Arthur at 80.
Wow.
And Marty gave me a shot. He gave me my own business. We partnered up, and for 10 years I had a very successful small to medium market media consulting company that included the Arena Football League, the Philadelphia Soul. We even tried to start football in China for 6 crazy years that I could do a movie about. And now I thought I was retiring to play golf in South Carolina with a lot of my old Southern pals from Lake Forest. And instead, my brother came up with a brilliant idea that I'm working full-time on now.
Tell us, Lou.
It's called Marvella. It's the first ever women's only sports academy and leadership academy. It's a campus out in Indiana.
Good for you.
About 150 acres, just for girls, the first of its kind.
Yep.
And that's what we're doing now.
Listen, I know that you've had so many positions and so many jobs. Do you miss being on air? And frankly, if you're going to laugh, conversely, I went from business, and now I don't want to call it a job, but I am on air. And you went from being on the air to business. Look how adverse we are. Tell me, do you miss Philly as well?
Yeah, did Yuki buy something from you too?
He did all the time. I mean, listen, I sold you an engaged ring. I put you out of your misery. I made sure that good-looking guy. We didn't want you roaming the streets of Philly. Yeah, Yuki obviously came in too. I spent time with both of you guys. You and I, if you could remember, we shared a summer house in Avalon, and we had some fun times. And I'll be honest with you, Lou, and I mean this. I don't want to say the word jealous, but there was animosity. I couldn't meet a girl around you. I mean, 6'2", 6'3", handsome, chiseled body. Forget about it. You were an inspiration to me to get in the gym, but I could never, ever. It wasn't cool, Lou. I just want you to know, live on the air, you were a disappointment to me. Sorry.
You're getting me on, Barry. Jeez. Yeah, we had fun. We had fun. You were so freaking boring. I couldn't believe it. We spent a summer in Avalon. I couldn't get you out of the house.
Exactly.
You were a disappointment to me. No, your shop was like it was. I got more information and stories, inside stories on sports, just hanging out at your store.
Yeah.
Than I did hanging out in the locker room.
Yeah, there was a lot of fun times, Lou. Huh?
Yeah. No, do I miss Yeah, sometimes I do miss broadcasting. Like when I watched the Eagles game Sunday. And I couldn't understand why, with an 8-man box from Washington, they weren't throwing one screen pass or even a check down to the blitzer to swing the running back into the flat or throw to the tight end. It was driving me crazy. And still, they should have won a game. So, yeah, on days like that, I do miss the discourse, you know?
So do you critique football games? Because to me, when I watch the Eagles, frankly, what happened to the West Coast offense? Your quarterback goes out. Why aren't they throwing little dinks and dunks and controlling the football, Lou? Here it is.
That was my point. Yeah,
exactly. So
yeah, I do. I still watch. No, you know, a lot of people don't probably know this, but at Wake, I was a starting middle linebacker in the ACC for 4 years, and then when I got hurt and couldn't play, I was a coach for a while, and then I started my career as the color analyst for Wake Forest football, and I continued to do college football with Comcast until about 2000. In fact, I did high school games for ESPN until 2022.
Yep.
So, yeah, I still watch the games like an analyst, and I love the game.
Listen, Lou, before I leave you go like I did Washington, and when I say you're a disappointment to me, I couldn't meet a girl. I mean, I'm not kidding you, Lou. It wasn't even funny. You put me in therapy twice a week.
Don't give up. There's still time.
At 73, there's not.
That's all I'm going to say.
Lou, where were we going? I just had a question. I'm losing my mind. Tell me what's in the future for you. Do you see this business taking off? And I know I promised my listeners or Dawn's listeners we weren't going to talk about politics today. But men and women's sports, obviously you're adverse to that, and you're doing what it takes to fight against it. No different than I try and come on the air and just for an hour or so or 2 hours explain to me what's going on in politics and what's going on in America. What are your thoughts on men and women's sports?
Well, tell Dawn that she should book me just for this topic.
Yes.
You know, my brother Glenn, who also grew up in Philadelphia, went on to play football at Penn Charter and then at Princeton, is a brilliant businessman who's worked in youth sports his whole life. He ran Cal Ripken Youth Baseball for 6 years, and that's where we got the idea. But we saw the opportunity with women, and we also identified the fact that there is a serious mental health issue with young girls in this country.
Yes.
And we also found out that 50%, Barry, listen to this, 50% of girls quit sports between 6th and 7th grade. It's a real problem.
Yep.
They're not getting foundational education at home. They're not getting it in the church or the synagogue. They're not getting it from sports teams. Where do they go? So we're trying to emphasize our leadership and educational values at our academy, which is called Marvella. Above all else. And that's why we've been able to get $65 million in state funding for the $120 million project out there. And Indiana, I've come to discover, is just a wonderful state. That's where Caitlin Clark plays for the Indianapolis Fever.
Yep, exactly.
And Caitlin will be part of our team at some point. We hired the Fever's general manager to be our president, a woman named Allison Barber. So the thing that Glenn is dedicated to with our campus is any team that comes, we absolutely must assure them of safety in a safe place.
Yes.
And in our opinion, any man that's playing with a girl is not safe for a girl. We knew that growing up. I don't know how we forgot about it.
Yeah, well, we forgot about a lot of things. Let me ask you a question before I leave you go. What's your handicap now?
Well, I'm mad at my brother about this, Barry, because I live on a beautiful golf course. In fact, a week ago when I left South Carolina, I was 83, and I played golf that day.
And
it got down to 9 again, and then now that my brother has dragged me back into business, it's up to 15. So I'm not pleased about this.
Listen, I'm down to an 11.
This might be your chance, Barry.
Yeah,
this might be your chance.
That's exactly. That's what I was going to say. I want some of that Lou Tilley golf money in my pocket. And listen, I'm getting older. I don't have a lot more shots at you. When you come into Philly, you are my guest. Anywhere you want to play, we'll figure it out. I'd love to have you on the golf course.
And you know what? Thank you. I would love that. And you and I did play golf once. That the course, I can't think of it. It's in Haddonfield, New Jersey.
Yeah, I know where
Not
you're.
the one that begins.
No, Tavistock. Did you play Tavistock?
Tavistock.
There you go.
Yeah.
Uncle Barry's on the ball. Listen, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to get Yuki, and maybe we could find Charles. That would be some foursome. What are your thoughts on that?
If Yuki's still listening, he used to put together a tournament at his club in Brandywine every year that featured Charles
in Delaware
and Dr. J. Yeah, at Brandywine in Delaware, Dr. J. And he played in front of us one day. And, you know, Dr. J's nickname on the golf course is Sundown. You know why? He's so slow, he never finishes before the freaking sun goes down.
Listen, Lou Tilley, I want to thank you. I'm up against the break. I want to thank you on a busy holiday season for you to take some time with your Uncle Barry. You know that you'll always be in my heart. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Please tell Glenn, incidentally, I said hello. Have a healthy and happy New Year. Philly misses that chiseled, handsome face, a Colgate smile. You are never forgotten in Philly, my friend.
I recorded that. Beautiful. Thank you, Barry.
You're the best. Thanks. Have a great holiday. Jim, it looks like we're up against the holiday. You have been listening to The Dawn Show. Barry Sable sitting in for Dawn. I want to thank Lou Tilley for taking the time to spend some time with me.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
These unidentified drones that are flying over New Jersey, they're saying they should declare some kind of a state of emergency.
Here's a marketing idea. I know yesterday was the sales day, so this probably won't be heard for another 6 days. We need to have a Kale and Company drone watch party.
Oh, boy.
We gather wherever these are. We'll go to Jersey, get mulligans on the line.
Yeah.
We're all going to sit outside, put the fire pits on. We'll have some drinks, and we'll watch drones.
Johnny Z, are you listening, buddy?
Let's go.
Open up mulligan. Let's do this, buddy.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
There's a reason the potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or find them online at retirereadyfg.com. And get Uncle Sam's greedy hands out of your retirement.
Hey, you've had enough.
With a complimentary tax mapping report from Jim Cipriotti. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
Where will 2025 take you? With an education from University of Maryland Global Campus, it could take you towards your next success. An accredited state university, UMGC helps working adults like you learn the skills you need for the career you want. And with no application fee through February 12th, there is no better time to start. Choose from more than 135 degrees and certificates in career-relevant fields like business, cybersecurity, healthcare, and more. Plus, UMGC offers online and hybrid classes, no-cost digital resources in place of textbooks for most courses, personalized support, and lifetime career services. And with transfer credits and scholarships for those who qualify, UMGC can help you take a leap forward no matter where you are on your education journey. Classes start soon. Apply now and get your application fee waived through February 12th. Visit umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Got a roofing problem? Don't let it ruin your day.
Emmons Roofing and Siding offers professional roofing services, from repairs to complete lifetime warranted replacements.
And you can trust our experienced team to keep your home safe and secure. And we can even handle insurance claims for you.
Give us a call today at 856-885-6677 or visit us on the web at callemmons.com. From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
Seems everyone has an opinion on where the stock market is going, but where should you be going? Find out with Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
For the area's finest dining experience with fabulous cuisine, extensive wine list, and waterfront views of the Philly skyline, visit the River Winds Restaurant in West Deptford, New Jersey. Enjoy entrees that feature certified Black Angus steaks and the freshest seafood while overlooking the Delaware River. River Winds can host your next special event. They'll plan your holiday party, family gathering, or corporate meeting in one of their newly renovated waterfront rooms, each with a private deck. For an incredible dining experience or special event, theriverwindsrestaurant.com.
Listen New Year's Eve as Penn State battles Boise State. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. on the home of Penn State football. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
So last year I had the bright idea to dig up part of my backyard to put in a new patio. Little did I know that underground electrical for most of my neighborhood ran through my backyard. One wrong hit of the shovel and bam, lights went out, my hair turned white, and now I can wirelessly charge my smartphone. You know, they say hindsight is 20/20, but 2/20? That's something completely different. Trust me. Call 811 before you dig. Know what's below and help us hit 50 and 5. 50% less damage to buried utilities in 5 years. For info, visit pa1call.org.
It's Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at Westchester University and Pittman, New Jersey in February.
Alan Iverson, Joel Embiid. My dad set this up. This was actually a Christmas gift to bring us all together, come see Joe, and relive all the Philadelphia history. It's amazing.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm and the story of Philly sports through music. Westchester University on February 21st and the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey on February 22nd. Tickets to a Conklin show make great holiday gifts. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Hey, this is Jimmy Fallon in the house, and dig this, folks. This is not a drill. It's the real thing. You can now join me weeknights from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT or anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
Yes, indeedy, we are back. You are listening to the Dawn Show. Barry Sable sitting in for Dawn. I promised Stanley no politics today. We did a pretty good job.
Yep.
I want to thank Lauren Hart, Jack Chitterelli, Lou Tilly, Jesse Kyle, Yuki Washington for sitting in. I also want to thank Jim Kelly on the other side of the glass, Larry Casanova, and Joe Miller, my team in here helping and assisting me. Stanley, you have been patient. You have gone through and listened to these interviews. The last 10 minutes or so is your time. Give us 2025 and your resolutions for this year, Stanley.
2025. I have a reason to be optimistic. I think all of us do. It's been a rough year, 2024. It's been a rough 4 years, actually, and I'm optimistic about what's to come.
Why?
I'll tell you what. I have always been, I teach strategy. Is one of my courses I teach. I've also done a video series and a book called Strategic Thinking Skills at the Great Courses. And I'm a future-oriented person, and it's easy to be optimistic whenever you can reduce the options that are available to you. The most important question that all of us have at New Year's Eve is WTF? What's the future? And that's
Tell me yours.
The future is basically the magic formula for success is available to anyone, and my magic formula for success is strategy.
Yep.
A lot of young people are really bedeviled by a lot of questions. I don't know which way I'm going to go, about my career, about my personal life. When all you have to do is visualize in detail where you want to be 5 years from now, and then articulate the path to get there. And all the options that are facing you right now, they just fall away, and the path becomes clear. Now, I have resolutions. I want to be a kinder, gentler husband to my wife. I want to spend more time with my kids. Because
How about time with me? Can I be included?
With you? Of course, that's
I want to be adopted.
That's the overarching rubric there. That I want to spend time with Uncle Barry.
There you go.
Throughout the coming year. But what is your resolution, Barry? That's what I want to know.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. I'm now almost officially out of the building business. I'm thinking about moving to Florida. I love being on the air. I don't want to give up 1210 WPHT in any which way. Honestly, I want to stay healthy. But I have to tell you, it's such a privilege to come into this studio. I don't care how much time it takes to prepare. It's fun. The resolution for me is that the United States of America gets back on track.
Yes, we will.
And I'm sure you feel the same way. I really believe in President Trump to do what's necessary. I love the people he's surrounding himself with. I want to see us get back in charge of the world. We're big brother. So to me, politically, a resolution is we need to get rid of inflation. We need to close the border. We have to become energy independent. And frankly, I want to put money into the education system because I'm a firm believer, and you believe it because you are in that realm of life, that we need to educate Americans better so our society is more functionable than the existing problems that we seem to have. Your thoughts?
Right. I think that prosperity at home and peace through strength abroad is what we can expect for the coming 4 years. And you're right. I think we need to get this country back on track. I think that the new administration coming in is going to do that. But we all have to do our part. And I think that what we find for this particular administration, which is different than the previous administration, is that we all are going to find that we have more space within which we can pursue our own dreams. And that's what I mean by picturing where you want to be 5 years from now and allowing that to inform what you do today.
Right.
And my field is education, as you mentioned, and I'm very concerned about the future of the country, and that is where the future lies.
Before I leave you go, and we sign off today, give me a quick rundown of your books. I know you have Brutal Minds. Give us where we could find that out. And I know that you're writing a book. You know, I guess how much time we have, Jim? Another minute or so? Why don't you give me an update of what you are writing?
Sure. Right now I'm writing a book on DEI. It's an expose. In fact, that's the name of it, DEI Exposed. My current book, which is on Amazon, is called Brutal Minds.
Yes.
And it's about the American higher education system. It explains exactly what's going on, what we have, what we need to do to fix it, what you can do as an individual citizen, as a student, as a parent, as a donor, as an alumnus.
We're out of time, my friend. I'm sorry to cut you short. I cannot begin to thank you for so much time that you've given me on this show. Listen, we are transferring. Where are we going? To Dom, the great Dom Giordano. He is next. Merry Christmas. Thank you for listening in today. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays. I will see you on Thursday. Have a great holiday.
This holiday season, Crash Proof clients are excited to receive the gift of double-digit interest return